Hey kids, welcome back to Plantation Bay. It's been a while since I did one of these videos, and I do apologize. I started a couple new series earlier this week. But both I started a new city Let's Play, which is something I was considering doing after having posted my sort of first impressions games. For those of you who don't know, New City is an indie city builder developed by a very small studio called Lone Pine, and it's really interesting. Has a lot of potential. It is currently in early access, so I wanted to kind of jump on that while it was fresh, and so I will be running SimCity 4 videos once a week rather than twice a week, just in order to get some of those New City videos in. But we'll see. I mean, SimCity 4 is a big part of this channel, and I'm certainly not going to stop playing it anytime soon. It's also it's still my favorite city builder. And yeah, my posting schedule this week got a little bit skewed, and I do apologize. I'll probably update the schedule to reflect. I've also got a Europa Universalis 4 series running now, and so there's just a couple new series. And sometimes whether I make videos or not, like, it has to do with, obviously I try and keep to my schedule, but also sometimes I just feel like playing a different game. And that's kind of the case with the EU4. I was wanting to try out the EU4 Emperor DLC. So yeah, but we're not going anywhere with SimCity 4. I'm going to do a little bit more work on Plantation Bay as well. And I think our number one goal this episode is to hit 1 million population. That has been a goal for this series in general, and I think it is going to be very easily attainable in this episode. And other than that, I would also like to, just want to think about where we're going with this region here. I had said last episode, and I agree with this, that we are there's going to be a ring of suburbs in everything. So we've pretty much built the inner city at this point. Everything else in terms of development, except for maybe some of this stuff here, is going to be sort of suburban areas, and then agriculture. And Edgewater, I think, is going to have agriculture kind of along this coastal area here. So before we do that though, I do want to go into Edgewater this episode. I think we should maybe try and see what the demand looks like in Inner Bay. I honestly can't remember. Plantation Bay City needs a little bit of work too, so if we get to that, I might try and do that as well. But what I might just quickly do is upzone the residential here and see if we'll probably hit our 1 million cap very easily just by doing that, to be honest. And yeah, my idea was that outside the highway ring would be kind of these suburban, more car-oriented suburban areas. Yeah, you'll notice I really do prefer. I find it a bit tedious to build those kind of cul-de-sac suburbs, so I do end up building a lot of grid stuff, and I know it can get boring sometimes, but yeah, no, I end up. It takes a lot more. It takes a lot more work in this game. If you look at New City, for example, you've got these really cool. You can make these templates, right? These kind of zone templates where you can just kind of copy and paste large areas of the city. You can't do that in this game, so it makes it. I find it makes it a bit tedious to do anything but a grid. But some people like to spend a long time doing this kind of cul-de-sac style suburbs. Yeah, so I'm seeing some high-tech demands, but I'm not seeing much in the way of residential. A little bit of commercial too, but this is not really much of a commercial city. Let's just run the clock a bit. I don't know that we're going to be able to actually increase the density here, to be honest. I think we might. I can do a bit. I don't think there's anything undeveloped. So we can certainly upzone a bit. This is having joblessness. What's going on here? It's one of the biggest challenges in this game, is figuring out why people don't have jobs and probably commute long. Okay, so I find that one way to figure these ones out is when you... So it looks to me like these people are actually traveling out to the neighboring city for their jobs, so it's kind of unsurprising. Yeah, it's kind of unsurprising that they have long commutes, and I wonder what we can do about that. I think any traveling off of the city borders is considered a long commute, so there's that. One of the things I can check is to see if we have enough buses. Yeah, I think we do, to be honest. I think there are bus stops kind of close to every corner here. Might not be a bad idea to stick one there, that intersection. Yeah, I'm gonna just put one of them down. Okay. And so yeah, that's not going to help us here though. One of the other things I can do is increase the road capacity. I don't really want to though, to be honest. Interesting. Because this would be the area that I would think to upzone, to be honest, if it. Yeah, I realize I say that a lot. I say to be honest a lot. I've had that mentioned a couple times. Probably what's going on here actually is that you've got a lot of high wealth residential, and they're not close to high wealth jobs. They're traveling to this city where there's some high tech jobs. So actually, the smart thing to do really would probably be to make some new jobs for these folks right over here. We do have some high tech demand. We have a bunch of medium industry demand actually. Let's try and get that going. Yeah. Let's put some industry here, and it probably will develop actually as medium industry, or medium manufacturing industry. You know what I mean. Yeah. No. There. And do that. Okay. We also have limited access to the highway. I'm just curious, actually. Yeah, there's no congestion on these roads, so it shouldn't be an issue for them to get to that highway. What's going on there? Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Right, because there's no avenue running across this part of town. So... Now, is that road traffic? Yeah, it is. It's bus traffic. Holy shit. Interesting. I guess it's because of that. It's got the highway there, and then it's got the avenue connection. So certainly that would be a candidate for probably a one-way street. I'm not going to worry too much about that though. It doesn't seem to be causing any problems, and it's not like it's way over capacity either. It's sitting at 100%. So yeah, interesting. All right, let's do my plan here and give these people jobs along. Neat as that looks, that's not what I want. Okay, there we go. Let me just do this with road, actually. Okay. Trying not to make a big mess here. That's fine. Yeah, let's do it like this. There we go. Start to this kind of like this road super block type thing. Is that Rob's River? Yeah, okay. There we go. Put a little industrial area in here. That might actually give us some residential demand, and then we can do what I said we would do, which is to increase the population to 1 million. Can I? There we are. Yeah, these street connections are tricky. Okay. And then we'll just do it around the edges like that. Oh, that's not necessary. No, in fact, none of this is necessary. Oh, shit. I'm just making an unholy mess here. There we are. I just do this. There we go. Now, I will put some parks along the edge of the highway. Probably good to have some kind of overpass there. What the fuck happened here? Whoa, that's a weird network add-on mod glitch. Somehow that, I don't understand. Like, it's like a starter, one of those starter pieces, but I didn't actually click that, which is very strange. Maybe it's because it's using a. Okay, I'm gonna do that. And yeah, there needs to be some kind of bridge or overpass here. Question is, what can I use? I don't know if these ones work on the diagonal. I don't think they do, to be honest. No, they don't, do they? So I think what it needs to be then is a tunnel. Very awkward. It's awkward too because I don't have a diagonal road going there. But I can do a bit of a weird thing here. Let's go to this, like that. Like that. And then we'll just delete this for now. See if I can connect this back up. Of course not, that would be too easy. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why that worked. Okay. And then, yeah, we need to do an underpass. Where is it? It's a flexible underpass is what I'm looking for. Wow, I'm getting rusty here, guys. There we go. We need a... No. Come on now. Okay, yeah, I see. No, that's backwards. That's what I need. And I think there's an underpass piece underneath. Right, and then I'll need something else coming out on this side. So, yeah. Let's just put both of the flop pieces down. Flops, as they're called, in the network add-on mod. No, it needs to be like there. Can it go there? That's interesting. Yeah, this isn't going to work. I tell you why it's not going to work. It's because of the interchange. The interchange is what's getting in the way. This is a tricky one. So it needs to go like, I think we can do it maybe here. Yeah, if it can fit. Can it actually? Wait a second. Sometimes there's like a draggable one that comes with the vanilla game, basically. Okay, well that's not going to work though. So let's see here. Can we fit an underpass? Can we fit an underpass here? Yeah, we can. There we are. And then the other side goes there, and I think it will work. Yeah, that's looking perfect to me. Just connect up either side. Come on now. Interesting. Does not like that at all. Okay. Alright, and then I need that underground bit there. Straight route under whatever it's called there. So just cycle through all these. Straight route under straight route under straight street. Straight route under avenue. Straight route under diagonal highway. That's it. Oh, here it is. Got it. That was easy. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Do like me a good underpass. Sweet. Well, let's connect this up. Put down bus stops, and then maybe rezone this little bit here. There we go. Probably need to dezone these guys. Yep. Okay. And then we'll put down bus stops. Looks like I get a freight station going on here, but it's probably not going to get much use because the highway is right nearby. Actually, though, to be honest, it might because the ramp is all the way over there. Let's do it. Oh no, there's a road connection there. I'm not going to bother. Not going to bother. Okay, so if you want them to use freight rail, you can't give them a road connection, and you have to sort of force them to use it. Unfortunately, there is a mod that blocks certain types of traffic from using certain roads. You put in these little blocker pieces, and it does look interesting. I have never tried it, but it does seem a little bit micro-intensive to me. That's my instinct, but I don't know. Oh, we can put let's put a park in here because there's lots of unused space there. What's going on there? Something is backwards. That one. This guy too. Uh-huh. Why are you not... Wait a second, I gotta do... Yeah, I can't get that one to zone right at all. Weird. No. That's annoying. Very annoying. Alright, let's fill this all in with parks. Some, Here, why don't we put a community garden there? And a small park green, and then we'll do maybe a medium playground. Can we fit one of those in? Medium playground there. Playground right by the highway, that's hilarious. And then medium flower garden, and I should get some park mods, I really should. So it's on the list. There we go. Skateboard park under the, right by the overpass. Perfect. And then over here, I'm just gonna put down some concrete basically, very quickly. Where is the paved area? Yeah. Just pick a couple of these little awkward bits and put some paved areas on them, like there. It should be more than enough to get something going. That's good. Let's go. See what builds. Probably gonna get Whoa, interesting. Take a second to develop. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's coming up mostly manufacturing. That's fine. I'm mostly developing the high-tech industry in this city anyway. Right, so we just got lots of demand for residential. I am going to upzone this area here. Something's going on there I should fix. You know what, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to go by and fix it afterwards because this is faster. Yeah, I can fix that off screen. I just want this to build for now. Actually, there's actually a console command to make all the ZOTs disappear and undeveloped zones as well. I can't remember what it is though. What is this mess? Right. There's like schools or parks there or something. Yep, that's an odd choice for a high school, was I thinking. Huh. Right by the edge of the map. Doesn't use its radius very well. Population is creeping up. That should just about do it for our 1 million. Won't take much more anyway. Still getting jobless thoughts, but excuse me. But I think some of them will be going to work here, hopefully. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of stabilized to some degree. All right, what else can we do? I think we'll just keep doing that, to be honest. Let's okay. Try and keep this tidier this time. Oh, it's weird when they get squared angles like that. Always going to need an employment area next to the residential area anyway. I don't think there's another way to do this regardless. Okay, that's very annoying. Good God. Okay. Tell you what. There we go. That's all I ask. There we go. Something like this. Yep. Right, that is very cool. And now we'll just do our streets. This is already starting to be a little bit more of a suburban type of development, right? Even if it's still using, if it's not using cul-de-sacs, it is still a more suburban style of development for sure. A little bit more haphazard, less, I'm gonna put a freight rail station here, if only for kind of eye candy, to be honest. There we go. Interesting. It's interesting that we're getting all this demand. I wonder whether that might actually solve some of the problems in Plantation Bay City by creating all this industry. Uh-oh, I don't know why I'm doing medium here. That's what I want. Pretty much always do dense industry, personally. Not a huge fan of like low-density industrial parks. I mean, obviously in American cities you get these kind of suburban industrial parks that just go on forever. And, you know, on the one hand you've got your like dirty industry, your big, you know, huge dirty factories, like old school kind of early 20th century dirty factories. I feel like the sort of low-rise industrial highway sprawl of a lot of American cities is not a lot better. Obviously, the chemicals are perhaps a little bit less toxic, but in terms of the kind of car culture, yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever driven in on like the New Jersey Turnpike or something. I would come down from like Montreal and take the New Jersey Turnpike sometimes into the tunnel, especially if I was taking a bus or something, and you just drive for like, especially if you get caught in traffic, it feels like you drive for like 2 hours of just endless, you know, a mix of shopping malls and like light industry, and it's just, you know, kind of low-rise everything. It's a real dreadful hellscape, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is. American life. All right, so let's. Oh, garbage. What happened to our garbage disposal in the city? Or maybe we have a garbage dock, don't we? It's like way over here or something. What happened to our garbage dock? Oh, there it is. Now, this doesn't tell us... The only thing about this garbage mod I have is... It really does not give me a sense of capacity. Garbage produced... Okay, garbage processed, so I guess it does. Well, that's not good. Well, looks like we need another garbage dock or a proper landfill, and I might actually... What if I built one of these guys? Will that fix it? No, one of these guys. Oh, I can also use one of these cool recycling centers. Let's do both. Let's put a recycling center. I don't think I've built any of these. I don't know why I've just been ignoring recycling. This is a garbage disposal facility with 50,000 tons. Yeah, these are also modded garbage. Like, they're just garbage mods, basically. Let's just put a few of these down. And the recycling center, the vanilla recycling center just reduces the city garbage, whereas these modded ones actually just give you garbage capacity. And there's something wrong with some of the calculations in the basically garbage disposal just gets a little bit ridiculous in this game. So I have got some mods to kind of deal with that as cities get bigger. Interesting. Why is that not developing? There we go. Actually, almost getting some we're almost getting some dirty demand, but I guess that's to be expected. Are you getting any use? Huh, no. Is this even connected? Yeah, it is. So, should get use. Interesting. So we haven't dealt with the garbage capacity yet. I also wonder whether some of these garbage mods don't work because, yeah, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Have I disconnected this guy from the? I don't know. I'm finding that these garbage docks. I'm finding that these garbage docks. Oh, this is the small one. I'm finding that those garbage docks tend to bug out a lot, to be perfectly honest. Oh, that's annoying. I really need to fix that, because when you have garbage, when you see that warning, it's bad news. It does not. It's in the ports, isn't it? I'm gonna try and plop one down. Oh, there's a prison there too. I'm gonna try and plop one down quick. Hopefully, I can fix this. Where is it? I thought it was in here. No, it's not in here. It is in here then. Ah, they're there. Yeah, I forgot. Okay. Maybe I can squeeze it in here and then I'll fix it off screen. Yeah, that looks ugly. I recognize that. It's also just like not positioned at all well. But I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna see if I can get it to work and see if it'll fix our problem. Like, there's supposed to be a road connection there. I'm just gonna do that for now, and I will fix this after. I'm not in the mood to try and resolve. I just really hope that works, to be honest. God. Just spamming garbage disposal. Okay. No, nothing is increasing the capacity. This is like pretty serious problem. What is going on? Huh. There's trucks going in and out of this one here, which kind of suggests to me that it's working, but oh, this is cool. This one has a rail connection. I'm not going to connect it though because it's going to screw up my rail network. Yeah, what is going on? I wonder, is something screwing with my garbage mod? I'm not getting any power used. Capacity used 0%. Something's screwed up, guys. This is actually very concerning. Oh. Huh. Did it go away? Yeah, I don't know. The only way we'll know is if I look at this one. Yeah. That's not good. You only get that if your garbage disposal is not working. What if I query these buildings? Garbage low. Okay, what about like here? No, that's not telling me anything. Garbage low. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm a little bit worried, to be honest. I've seen this happen before, and it's often a real shit hassle to get rid of. I have found one solution I have found is that if you zone a large like vanilla landfill, sometimes it'll kind of reboot the capacity. But I suspect that there's something a bit off with one of my garbage mods. There's something that's not doing what it's supposed to do for sure. I have no doubts because this is not something that usually happens. I know that this guy sometimes does it, the waste to energy plant. I'm going to ignore it for now, and we're just going to keep playing. I don't see what else I can do because we'll see. I may do something like off screen, like zone a large dump essentially, which is not something I would normally want to put in this city. And yeah, and then we'll see. I think next region I'll do, I'll make a dump city. I haven't done that in a while. I find it's a bit of a hassle to kind of go back and forth and deal with you know, trading garbage away and stuff, but it is kind of neat. So let's connect this up. Yeah, we're gonna need a couple of overpasses there. This should turn into probably a ramp, as should this actually. This should just turn into a ramp. Anyway, I'm not going to focus too much on that. I don't think we're going to expand much more here. Oh, we've got just so much industrial demand. I wonder whether that demand is coming from Plantation Bay City. I wonder. So, oops. Not what I intended to do. Yeah, let's, oh, there's a subway. Wait a second, there's a subway line running somewhere under here. Boy, it's been a while. Yeah, wow, okay. Right, I was going to connect up this subway with that rail line and have there be a terminal there. So, let's do that. Will it not go right but next to this? Yeah, it will. There we go. Okay, let's do that. Actually, is that what I want to do? No, what I'd like to do is actually something more like... I want to use the guy that combines the two. And here, this guy. And that'll be the subway terminus for that line anyway. Yep. And I can probably put one more station in between. There's a station there. I might do things a bit differently after. I might extend this actually further out here and put the station up there or something for the train, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, what does make sense is to put a station there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that instead. Just a better corner to put a station on, I think. That's going to help bring some people to the industrial area anyway. Put a station there. There's already a bus station there. I guess I can just squeeze it beside. That's going to screw up the transit adjacency thing though, isn't it? Okay, let's see here. Let's do... There we go. I'll put the bus, and then I'll put the bus station on the other side of the street. There we go. Just make sure that that subway line didn't get all fucked up. I could have had it come out of could have it actually come out and be. I think it just makes as much sense to have it be underground, to be honest. There we go. I guess we're just expanding the industry of this city, and we'll just we'll densify this residential area as we go. I think that's the key here. That's what we're gonna do. What I want now is, where is it? How do I get the? It's been just like a week since I played this game, and I feel like I'm just feeling very rusty today. What I need is that's Yes, this is what I need. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got lots of ideas for a new region. I'm going to be playing around with my mod setup. I'm also considering just getting the NOM 37 going. Probably not, though. I think... I don't know, it's tempting. It's tempting to get the NOM 37 going. If I get it going on this machine, though, well, I don't know. I'm not sure how much of a challenge it would be to kind of get this region going in NOM 37. I know that there's a way to... I know that there is going to be a way to kind of upgrade your mod setup and without losing your city and just kind of fix the problems as they come up. One of the things that's changed in NOM 37 is the rail. The vanilla Maxis rail has been discontinued in favor of what they call real railway, which is great. It's great. I approve. I was actually a bit sketchy about that until I played around in it. I was gonna make a video on the network add-on mod 37 actually, and I started making a video, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I had a lot of stuff I needed to learn, and I got lots of footage, and I just sort of decided just not to go with it, to be honest. I wanted to get a little bit more familiar with it before I started making videos. But yeah, but it's cool. They've replaced the Maxis railway with real railway, which is good. A lot of modded content uses the real railway anyway. Like it's basically kind of standardly used by a lot of mods at this point. So you'll see some of those like ports and stuff I use. You'll see they don't use the kind of vanilla railway design. So it makes just as much sense to have it everywhere, and also it's much more flexible. The rail is designed to have like natural curves and fractional angles and stuff, and some of that is now draggable. Rail looks a lot better when it's just dragged around in the game, so it's really cool. It's really cool, and I'm gonna be very excited to play around with that. But I think if I upgrade this region, what that would entail, I don't know. I think the Maxis rail would stay, but it might entail me going over every single rail line in the entire city and replacing it, and that's a little bit tedious. So at that point, I probably won't upgrade to NOM 37 quite yet. I also, Lord knows what will happen to my mod setup when I do that. Probably it will be fine, but it would be a bit of a project of an afternoon at least for me to get it going. And then in terms of coming back to this region, I would be a little bit concerned as to whether it would be worth it. But yeah, I've got some ideas for new regions. I want to play around with the demographics of the game. I want to vastly reduce the residential population using a residential Halver mod, and I already use a jobs doubler mod. But yeah, I also want to double the radius, I want to double the jobs radius or the radius of the schools and all the services in general. I just think it would be really cool to work on a region like that, because I wouldn't have to do a lot of micromanagement in terms of placing police stations and fire stations and stuff, and I don't find the radiuses realistic anyway. They're way too small. I feel like the game was designed, I think when they got the engine going, back in the day when they made SimCity 4, I think what happened is they, already you had the transit system was nerfed, right? They toned down the traffic simulator. That's what I'm trying to say. The traffic simulator, because those Pentium 2 computers or whatever they were at the time couldn't run it, and then they and I think that they also generally like they allowed you the game allows you to build these huge regions, but because the traffic simulator was toned down and the capacities were vastly reduced, that there were just very much far fewer actors moving around. Well, if your capacities are low, you can't build big cities, right? And if you can't build big cities, well, you end up doing a lot of this kind of growth on a smaller scale. So I think that the they ended up basically a lot of the challenges you face are really low populations. You know all the rewards you get, the Maxis rewards, come at really low population thresholds. By the time you get to 200,000, you've pretty much you've got all the rewards, right? And the same goes for just the population scaling and everything in the game. I think they had to make it smaller. It's on a smaller scale, and so that's part of why I want to mod. Partly why I want to mod that is because I find it's not realistic. That the population density of the residential is too high, and the on the flip side, the jobs are way too low. So is that it? Do I have another transit line? Do I need to? No, that's just this one. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Just keep it simple. That's the right tile there. Okay, and then we just need a little subway station here. There we go. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things I want to play around with. I also want to simultaneously want to plan the region a bit more than I planned Plantation Bay, and so I want to plan the region a bit more, but I also want to maybe not preemptively build transit lines like this, because I am finding that our transit lines in the city are pretty woefully underused overall. The train as well. It's sort of like I built a bunch of stuff expecting to kind of expand the city in a linear way, and just kind of didn't end up doing that. And I mean, that happens, right? That sort of happens if in SimCity 4 you start with one concept, and as you build the city, you sort of lose track of what you were planning to do. Especially this format where I'm recording these videos twice a week. Sometimes I come back after a couple days and sort of can't remember what I was up to. I've started, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, but sometimes I'll watch the end of the last video so I can sort of remember what happened. Sometimes I just don't though. Sometimes I just start playing and start recording, and it just depends on what my mood is. But yeah, so it would be kind of cool, I think, on this channel to have like a real master plan for a city, where we very explicitly make a plan for where certain zones are going to be and stuff like that, and then try and stick to it, and then try and let the transportation infrastructure develop like naturally, kind of upgrade it as needed. That could be an interesting approach, I think. Not that different in some ways from what we've done here, but I wouldn't be laying down rail lines everywhere. I would build streets and roads until I needed to upgrade the capacity, and if I needed transit, then I would do that, rather than just kind of putting rail lines everywhere. So yeah, looks like Inner Bay is getting a real upgrade here. What the fuck? I'm building right out to the power plant as usual. Don't try this at home, kids. Oh, what's going on here? All right. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of these custom buildings because they are kind of appearing like constantly. And I think that when I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that when I have the population with the population mod, I think that these ones will not work. I like them a lot though, they're great buildings. They just seem to appear everywhere. And I know there's a couple fixes I can kind of manually do. I can sort of mod them myself and mod the values myself. But it's been a long time since I attempted something like that, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it. Also, some of the utilities that you use to do that kind of modding are kind of old and don't always run. I'm getting a lot of commercial demand, not so much residential demand, and we have filled out. We've completely used up our industrial demand. That's good though. That's really good. I think that the good thing to do is going to be to go over to Plantation Bay City quickly, see if we can give it some more office development. Also take a look at the regional population, because we've got to hit 1 million this episode. We got to hit 1 million this episode. I think that's a pretty good little industrial strip along the highway. Yeah. That's kind of cool. It's hilarious, like port industry zone. I think it makes sense. I'd have liked to have made this residential area a bit bigger, actually. That's the thing. That's the other reason I want to reduce the residential densities. Is I just don't like it's a matter of like the ratio of employment sectors to residential sectors. I think at some point I'm going to do a video where I kind of look in Google Maps and I sort of show you guys some real-world cities and maybe some real-world zoning maps, because I used to be an urban planning student, and I would love to open up those and just sort of compare them side by side to SimCity 4 maps. To some degree anyway, kind of alt-tab back and forth, and show you guys how, the industrial area, an industrial area that's 10 blocks by, what is this, like, well, this is like, what, 8 blocks by 6 long blocks, 8 short blocks by 6 long blocks. I mean, that's a pretty big industrial area overall. I think it would actually have some bigger buildings, to be honest. I think some of the factories would be filling a few of these blocks, but in terms of the number of jobs it provides, over a huge area. Like, this is like a 4-kilometer long stretch, 3-kilometer long stretch of industrial areas here. That would provide employment for a whole large tile of low density or medium density in some cases. I think anyway, in terms of I'm just really talking about the ratio of jobs to residences in this game, and it's really, really off. The jobs have already doubled, but the residential I have as vanilla. So it's something I want to work on. As you can see, like as soon as we built out this city with all the industry, all we get is this little skinny residential zone here, and we've already used up all of our demand. Can't even get this to upzone because there's just too many people. All right. Can I get? Oh yeah, let's really try and use up this residential demand here. Certainly be zoning some commercial in these outlying cities as well at some point, but my priority at the moment is getting those offices in Plantation Bay City. I want to hop over there, see if I can get some of that demand to build up in Plantation Bay City. And then we'll pop back. I love this. This is one of my favorite things about SimCity 4. Like, this Simon Manor is a medium wealth residential, but it's gone. It's like downgraded to a single. I'll zoom in on it. It's downgraded to low wealth, and so the population is just huge. Now this is too big, right? I would think 1,000 would be. 1,000 would be like an overpopulated, squalid slum. I mean, this is like a 25-story building. It's pretty hard to fit 1,000 people in there unless they're living on top of each other. But yeah, if you look at, if you go up to neighborhoods in like uptown Manhattan, or you go to parts of the Bronx that really used to be middle or lower middle class neighborhoods, sometimes with really quite beautiful apartment buildings, but that over time those neighborhoods have become not desirable for wealthy people, and those buildings have just have many more people living in them, and sometimes in smaller apartments. But it's an interesting thing. It's what I've always found interesting there is you go to these very very middle class or even lower middle class buildings in New York City, and they're just these beautiful buildings, and clearly at one time a lot of money left the city and went to the suburbs, right? But that's kind of an interesting phenomenon how buildings go back and forth there. It just popped back to look, the population just halved because of because it went down to, it went back up to middle income or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting how that game makes those kind of things possible, and I don't think there's another game. I don't think there's another game that really does that. Like, here we go again. This is high wealth, and it's gone down to middle wealth. Now, I know I don't particularly like how grimy it makes the building look. I mean, this just looks like, you know, I mean, it's a little bit exaggerated, right? They can do an effect like that, like where it's not quite as prim and proper, but not to the degree, you know. I think that. I certainly like in where I live in Montreal, when you go to a very affluent neighborhood in the city, right within the city, not talking about suburbs, one of the things you notice is that people who have money spend a lot more time like gardening, and they have gardeners that come in and do all this like fancy gardening in their back alleys and stuff, in their little backyards or in their courtyards. They have a lot of like landscaping because they pay people to do it, whereas people who are working full time and making a basic, a fairly low income are not necessarily, unless they're big hobbyists, not necessarily going to have time to do all that gardening, and certainly not have money to pay people. And so you do notice that you do notice these little differences. And if you look at aerial photographs, oh god, a fire at a power plant. That's what I get for not building fire stations, I guess. This city just has a woeful lack of fire stations. Yeah. You'll see if you look at an aerial photograph of neighborhoods that have a higher average income, you tend to see a lot more like mature trees and stuff. And there's a couple things going on there. Partly it's that cities of course rely on property taxes, so they will tend to invest more in the landscaping. They'll tend to spend more money in rich neighborhoods because that's where they get a lot more property taxes and where property values are higher. But also, people who have money have the leisure and money to pay people to do that work. But it does, I guess, all of that to say, and that I'm verging on the political there. Obviously, can't be helped. But that's all this to say that I do think that this effect here of these cities kind of getting, these areas kind of getting less affluent and kind of flipping back and forth between them is one of the strongest parts of this game. I think it's really one of the best parts. I find it very tiresome to see city building games that are really just like, build your eco utopia, where you can. It's not too easy in this game. I mean, you certainly can, but it's not my style anyway to just sort of like fix all the problems at once. I like to kind of like, I like it to sort of create the industrial city that needs to be cleaned up and then clean it up. But that's just me. Right. Well, we're not getting much development out of this city. Certainly, we've gotten a little bit of density in here. Few apartment buildings over here. Nothing massive though. We've run the clock for quite some time. And yeah, let's pop over to Plantation Bay City. Bit of a slow-paced episode. I really do hope we get to 1 million population. I'm gonna pop over to Plantation Bay City, see what it's looking like over there, and if we're not at 1 million in the region screen here, we're gonna get there, because that is the #1 goal for this episode. Oh, we're like 25,000 short. Okay. Well, let's go quickly to Plantation Bay City and see if we get that office demand here, and then we'll go over to like Rob's River or maybe to Ventura Beach and fill in some residential. Yeah, we're definitely not going to get any residential here. Interesting. Oh yeah, we're getting lots of commercial demand though. Of course, when the office towers get this big, it just about 3 towers go up, and then you've used up your demand. But look at that. I should start. I should flip over to the Houston look soon. Probably just mix them all together at this point here. Okay. Do we need more commercial? Where can I get more commercial? over here for sure. Let's look at where there's traffic. Mostly on the highways. I'm just going to upzone some of this stuff and put it in, make it commercial. Probably not much point in having this industry here either at this point. It's going to create a bunch of problems, but yeah, I think it's finally time to get rid of the Hotville Industrial Park. Oh, there's a naming thing I have to do. Got to remember to do that. Speaking of industrial parks. If I don't do it this episode, I will next time. So we're just going to zone all this commercial because there's no demand for anything but commercial in this city at this point. What a mess. Gotta be some bridge traffic, right? I kind of like leaving that warehouse there. I may just do that. Okay, what? What in the name? There we go. Uh-oh. Oh, that thing again. Can I... Does this zone actually work? Yeah, you saw my language thing pop up there. There's a hotkey I'm mashing when I do that, and I don't know what it is. I gotta look at it at some point. Let's see if that works. Oh yeah. Got some nice big towers for sure. By this little train junction here. Okay, well that's used up all the office demand. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I probably should have just planned on this city being only commercial, or almost exclusively commercial. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of residential mixed in there, right? But it's clearly not. It's going to be a commercial-only city. I thought for a while there we were hitting some kind of demand cap, but no. It's just that there's lots of residential in the outlying areas, and so in this city just becomes a kind of only commercial. That's okay. We'll start rezoning next time we're in here. 977. We actually did. No, we lost a bit of population, I think. Okay, where can I go? Where can I go? Ventura Beach, for sure. I think Ventura Beach has some of these holes in here. We can try and connect up to Plantation Bay City. Oh, we already have an avenue there. That's perfect. I'll fix that after. This needs to be a road as well. Can I? Nah, that would be too easy, wouldn't it? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I guess this is all going to be residential, so we'll do that. Okay. Well, I got that rail line there. It's going to be a bit of a hassle, actually. Okay, you know what? I better do those overpasses now. It's turning into one of those long episodes. My mission to get to 100,000 has... Alright. There we go. To 100,000, to 1,000,000, I mean. Yes, okay. And then we need another... So that's... We need something... Wow, this is a real railroad... Really crazy what's going on here. What happened here? Why is there... Oh, it's a spur, I see, okay. Right. Well, we've got an overpass here. We just need one here, basically, I think. Where can I fit it? Road overpass. Can it fit there? No. Okay, so it's going to go there. There we go. Fine with that. Yeah, I want to try some like railroad trenches and highway trenches and stuff too. I haven't spent that much time with those those cool network add-on mod tools. So, you know, just stuff I want to do in a new region soon. That's actually a pretty good technique if you guys do when if you're playing the game and you guys do want to get like a big central commercial city. Is essentially you surround the tile that you want to be your central business district. You surround it with tiles that are a mix of residential and industry, and the industry is there because you're going to build up wealth. You're trying to, you know, essentially get the city rich enough that you can provide it with amenities to give the education to provide the office demand, which then sends people over to the office district. Also, in this game, Sims, once you get to a certain regional population, Sims seem to almost prefer to travel to a neighboring city than they do to like work in their neighborhood in a weird way. The neighbor connections generate a huge pull. It's not I've phrased that wrong. It's not that they prefer to work in the neighboring city. It's that every time you build a neighbor connection, it creates. It gives you all sorts of demand, basically. Every time you go back and forth between neighboring cities, it creates a bunch of demand for job types, and so a lot of the residential that ends up being those that go and work in the neighboring cities. So, yeah, unless you build a whole region out and before you actually go to the neighboring city, which is another way to do things. Something I'd like to do actually next in the next region that I start is rather than, you know, is to actually build out an entire tile before moving on to neighboring tiles, and to maybe do a little bit less specialization overall, because it circumvents the problem of Sims kind of endlessly traveling to neighboring cities to go to work, even though there's perfectly good jobs near them. Yeah, because what happens is, like, for, you know, we go over to, you know, we start in Plantation Bay City. We put down, you know, we put down some I don't know, commercial or something, and then that commercial, you know, creates demand for more residential, and then we go over here and then, you know, these residential areas build up, and they're immediately going to those jobs because those are the jobs that have most recently been added to the job pool. It's a bit more complicated than that, and it's actually very, very difficult to figure out what's going on in terms of where there's no real way to know what the source of the demand you have is, right? It's not like this isn't telling us what city tile the demands for commercial jobs, or what, you know, it doesn't tell us where the demand is coming from, essentially. That's what I'm trying to say, but it does, you know, it's one of the challenges of this game, for sure. When you get to be at a larger region, for sure, it becomes a challenge. Okay, that's got to be enough to get us 25,000, right? Do I even have the demand for it? I hope so. I think so. I need bus stops. No, I got bus stops. Okay. So I need to make sure there's schools and stuff, but come on now. It has water, right? Look at all that. It's all rich people. paid attention to the city population here. No. We're almost to 1 million. We needed 25. I think we were at about 100,000 in this tile. So if we get to 125, I think we're there. We definitely have enough demand for it anyway. Yes. Nuclear power. Okay, I better do the education thing. Yes. Library over capacity. 2 libraries over capacity. Hilarious. Okay, and then traffic jams. Not a big deal. Now, so these are not developing quite as quickly because they're close to the industry, I think. But come on now. The anticipation is painful. Just might as well do this road network while we're waiting for population to increase. Oh, what the fuck just happened? Just went down by a big chunk. It's going up and down. The population is like fluctuating. That is very strange. Are we having some major abandon? Oh, see this joblessness, man? I'm a little bit shocked because there's just so many transit connections here. Okay, what's the problem? Pretty intense highway traffic, but that's to be expected. They're so close to the highway. I don't understand why they're having so much trouble. Maybe it's the density. Really? Power plants? Where are the power plants in this city? Oh. No. There. I'm gonna do that for now. I really want to get to I want to get to 2 million guys. Let's just zone this area. I'm not gonna fix that. I am not gonna fix the abandonment issue over there right at the moment. But boy, yeah, I find right when you get to around 1 million is often when you start to see some of these issues. It's like clockwork. I really do find it. That's almost exactly the point at which some of these cities start to get really weird issues. And I'll be very curious to see how the population halving. God, that's a hard word. Halving. You know. The mod that cuts the population numbers in half for residential buildings. I'd be very curious to see how that affects commuting and you know, all that basically, because it will have an effect for sure. It may make it worse, but I don't see why it would, to be honest. If the density is lower, then again, it shouldn't be a capacity issue because we are using the ultra capacity setting. I don't know. Let's do some thinking about that for sure. Because you got your capacity on the one side, but yeah, I don't know. I wonder, it may have to do with the network speed as well. It may have to do with the because I know that the streets are slower than the roads, and as the distances get further, it might be more important to have a different ratio of roads to streets. I may be overusing streets in this region. Because you know, you've got your road capacity, and then you've got the max speed that people can travel along it, basically, and that might be the issue. There might be just too many streets in this town, and not enough in this whole region, actually, and not enough of the faster roads. I used to I actually, for years, I used to just always use roads. You know, because you could make them diagonal, and because they you know, with the lower settings on the network add-on mod, they also, oh Jesus, with the lower settings on the network add-on mod, the streets fill up so fast it's like not even worth using them. But what the fuck is going on there? Obviously there's no education over here, which is something I would fix very quickly. I should fix very quickly. Although I do need somewhere for these poor people to live. There we go. Awesome. Well, I think that's done it, guys. I think that's, I don't know what is going on here, but I think we just hit 1 million, or surpassed it. They're high-income houses, and they're commuting by bus to Plantation Bay City, so I'm presuming they're working in some kind of office setting. What's the busing situation here? Maybe they don't want to take the bus? There's tons of bus stations. They are a bit sparse, but... And the road situation is... Oh, yeah, this probably just needs to be upgraded to roads. That's probably enough to fix it. And I could put another ramp here, but that just seems like total overkill. That would probably do a big... Just upgrading that road to higher speed might do it. You could also do one way like that. But yeah, I mean, they're not congested though, are they? They're not congested. No, there's no congestion. I think the one-way streets are faster. The avenues and roads run at the same speed, but I think the one-way streets are faster. I think it helped a bit. Okay, well, I think we're gonna go and just confirm, because 1 million is a pretty big landmark. Landmark? What am I trying to say? Pretty big milestone. So I want to confirm that before we end this episode. I forgot to put in a name request. I'm realizing that now. I promise I'll do it next episode. So we filled that out. We kind of densified that. We put a little industrial belt around the edge of the city, all of which are kind of good for, I think, the development of the city in general. And we are officially above 1 million. So next episode, I'll do Edgewater. I'll do Edgewater, and I'll put in any name suggestions I get as well, because I didn't do that this episode. I was just so hyper focused on hitting this 1 million goal. We've hit. We're into the 7 digits now. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I'll be back next week. Ciao.